Hey guys, it's Dan, back in the garage today. Got a new project. I'll tell you about it here in just a second. Hello everyone, it's right around Christmas and I'm not sure when this video will be up exactly. Probably be after Christmas, but maybe before New Year's. So Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's to everyone. I've got a 1972 C10 long bed pickup here that I'm working on for a customer actually, and that is all new to me, and actually it makes me a little bit nervous. In this case, it was a truck that is being built by a shop that's here in the Kansas City area, and he's had some trouble with employees and COVID stuff, and it's just turned into a mess for him, and he was needing some help. And he's familiar with a couple of my trucks. Specifically, he liked what I did with Hussey, the wiring harness, different things like that, and how well that all turned out, how clean it was. So he was pretty interested in trying to talk me into doing some of this for him. And I resisted him for a while because I'm a little bit nervous about working on somebody else's vehicle and having to do it their way with their budget, do it with a timeline, things like that. And plus, it's always been a hobby for me. So being out here in the garage, working on my own stuff, that's enjoyable. Being out here in the garage, working on somebody else's stuff and trying to meet their expectations or different things is just, this is new to me. So we're trying it out. He's trying me out. I'm trying the whole situation out. It is a paying job, and I'm going to do it as well as I would do my own stuff. But I'm going to have to do it the way that somebody else wants it. So this is new. Let me introduce the truck. It is a 72 long bed, like I said. This belongs to a young lady this was, I believe, either her dad's or her grandfather's. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't spoken to the actual owner, although they do know that I have the truck. Her and her husband know that I have the truck. They agreed to all this. This was a truck that's been in the family for a while. They decided that they wanted to have restored, and they hired Jason, who is the owner of the company that I'm working for on this, to do the restoration. And he's done a good job, but he didn't leave me a lot to get started with on the nervous system and the brain for this thing. And what I mean by that is there wasn't enough planning in advance before the body work and metal work was all done to really make this the easiest. And I'm going to show you what I'm talking about here. So here it is, a brand new Jasper engine. It is an LS3, supposed to be making it's over 500 horse. He told me. I don't even remember, to be honest with you. It'll be healthy. It's going to be naturally aspirated. It's got a 4L80 behind it, feeding a Ford 9-inch. It's got Ride Tex coilover suspension all the way around, and it's got Willwood 4-wheel disc brakes. It'll be a nice riding little truck. It's not going to be the fastest thing in the world out there, but it's going to be clean and reliable, and it's going to be a nice truck. It'll be fun. 500 horsepower is not, a slouch. It'll feel good, especially in these old trucks. So the problem that I'm going to run into on this is, and it's not going to be a big problem because I got lucky here, but there was no planning for the electrical on this truck. And there's a lot of electrical compared to the way it was originally. This thing's got sensors, and there's a million miles of electron hose all over this thing. The nervous system is a lot bigger than it was from the factory. In this case, there was no planning for where the wires were going to go through the firewall and go into the ECU. ECU is going to be mounted under the dash. But I got lucky. There is a little hole right there, actually a pretty good size hole, that would be, if this was the original manual transmission in this truck, that would be where the clutch linkage comes out, and then there would be a bar right here that mounts and goes backwards. Pretty interesting that it's on this side of the gas, or this side of, it's actually above the gas pedal when you're inside the cabin. And I'm sure a lot of you guys are plenty aware of that who drive these old trucks and work on them. But that's going to be my saving grace for this wiring harness and stuff. We're going to make a nice grommet to go around there. And then I'm going to be able to get all the wiring into the truck from there. If it was not for this, this would be a bad situation, because this truck is all body worked and painted. Everything's done. And I would be drilling holes into a body that's painted and possibly chip and paint, maybe drilling out some of the existing holes to make some more room or something. I'd have to do something. And that wouldn't be very cool. So think about that, guys, in the future when you're planning your own builds. You gotta think far enough ahead on that stuff to make the holes that you need for that later. Have a plan. Do that. Don't forget it. It'll bite you in the butt later, or just makes things harder. Anything can be dealt with, but it's how hard is it going to be later on down the road? How hard or how easy are you going to make it on yourself? So this is going to be running a Holley Terminator X-Max ECU. He's got all the Holley harness for it and everything. And I'm going to go through and do what I like to do with these things, and I'm going to start getting rid of these big nasty connectors, and I'll put some nice mesh loom on all this and just make it look very presentable. That's going to be my big thing. Try to route things in a more intelligent way than these drop-in harnesses. He actually had the harness on this engine when I got it in here, and it just looks like there's a big bowl of spaghetti noodles that have been dropped on top of this thing. Things don't fit. you know, why is this connector in the middle? Why isn't this back here and we can just hide it? You know, I don't get it. I don't like it. And I'm going to change all that stuff and really clean this up. It just makes an enormous difference in the appearance of your engine to take that time and do that. And that's what really attracted Jason to me after looking at Hussey, is the way that I did that stuff, even on my black truck, which I don't have any videos on here of my black truck. Someday I'm sure there'll be some stuff on here, but I do have another truck that I've done some wiring on, and Jason's familiar with both of those, and it's grabbed his attention, and that's the kind of stuff that he wants me to do this. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Here we are in the cab. Pretty blank, a little bit dark in the video. Hopefully it doesn't look too bad. Already got a CTSV pedal mounted, so it will be drive-by-wire. Here's the Terminator X Max. I think it's going to be up over above the fuse block, possibly in the cab here. There's a flat spot that I'm looking at getting this up into, and I've got a little trick that I'm looking into for how to do that, since this truck is already painted and bodyworked, where I don't have to drill some holes to mount this or anything. And I'll show you guys some more on that later. I'm not exactly sure how that's going to play out. I'm waiting on some stuff to get here so that I can kind of finalize that idea. It'll have Dakota Digital RTX gauges in it. It will have a vintage air system. Pretty basic stuff. You guys have probably seen or even installed some of this stuff yourself. Just you know, basic off-the-shelf stuff that's made to fit. So hopefully it'll be real nice. My job's just going to be to make it all fit and work together properly and look nice. The wiring, basically. So I will get some more videos on this as I start getting into it a little more. The truck's been here about a week. We're kind of getting familiar with each other right now, kind of getting an idea on some things that have already been done, and if I'm going to change them and do something different. And just kind of, you know, all the engine stuff was put together. It had headers on it. It had the serpentine belt system. Even the engine harness was installed, and I took it all out. Remove the headers, make everything accessible, and got some work to do. I got a Gates pulse width modulated fan controller that the ECU will be able to change the fan speeds on. That's all going to get mounted up at the front. There's a frame support in there that I like to attach those to, where they're protected but right up next to the fan. I'll show you guys some of that later. Just doing my thing out here, and hoping that this doesn't start feeling like a job, a 9-to-5 job. Trying to do what I enjoy and have fun at it, but still kind of be a hobby. And so we'll see how this goes. I'm sure it'll be fine. The question is, will I be interested in doing a second or third car for Jason? And that's being talked about already. He's kind of interested in it, and we're both kind of going to see how this goes. So anyway, there'll be some more videos coming. We'll talk to you guys later. Take care.